We are now halfway through the 2023 Turkey Hill Truck Series, and today we run our one and only road course of the season. It's the Watkins Glen International, 3.4 miles. We skip the chicane and go through the boot here in the Lake Effect Ice Cream 175, the 10th race of the season, the 2023 Turkey Hill Truck Series. Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to Watkins Glen, New York, here at the end of October, the last Saturday of October. I tell you, we're already near the end of October now. Time flies when you're having fun, I guess, and we've been having a great season here in the Turkey Hill Truck Series. Been having a lot of fun, a lot of great racing so far. Now we're in the second half of the season, this championship battle. Only 9 races remain until we crown a champion on Christmas Day. It's going to be very, very interesting to see who gets it done here in this Turkey Hill Truck Series title race. And we got some new players up front, starting here at Watkins Glen. Sebastian Kukulon and Zachary Fitzwater on the front row. Right behind them, Bruno Diacomo coming in 13 points behind. Ludovic Charette starting in the 4th position. Joe Rutkowski's up there in points as well. He starts 4th. I'm running alongside a couple owners here in the series, Stuart Credden and Matt Tuck. Stuart, I'll start with you. Bruno Diacomo's kind of been up and down pretty much this entire season, but he's in a great position to start this race. Do you think he's going to have a good opportunity of retaking the points lead with Ludovic Charette starting in the 9th position here today?
Yeah, it's going to be... You've got to hope for that Ludovic has a bit of a poor day. Obviously, starting up front does help Diacomo's case, but as we see here at Watkins Glen, it can get pretty crazy, and Matt, we can attest for that, I can promise you that. It can get pretty crazy, see a bit of carnage. So just got to continue these good results. Obviously, kind of slipped back and dropped a little bit of ground. Dropped back to 3rd in the points, did Diacomo after IRP. So, great starting spot. Definitely an opportunity, but Ludovic's been very good this year as well. So need a lot to go away if he wants to retake the points lead today.
And Matt, and of course, Stuart alluded to it when we were here in the Cup Series a couple of months ago. You're in that championship fight, and you wrecked out. So what do these guys need to do to keep it clean here today around this 3.4-mile road course? Because it can get a little hairy out there if they're not careful.
Well, definitely first thing you want to do is make sure you don't get squeezed. But you got to always just keep your car safe, keep all 4 tires on the racing surface. Don't venture off into that runoff area down in turn 1 or really any part of the racetrack. And time your moves and make smart decisions and don't put yourself in spots where you could end up getting wrecked. And hopefully we will see less chaos than whatever that happened back in the summer up here. That was certainly a unfortunate incident.
It's going to be interesting to see how it all ends up shaking out here for the trucks. Of course, we're midway through the season now. The ratings aren't near as stacked as they were when the Cup Series came here over the summer, but we're starting to see who's good and who's not. Top 3 drivers in points, all stars. Matter of fact, top 4 drivers in points, all start in the top 10 here today. Bruno Diacomo, starting in the 4th position, is 13 points behind our points leader of Ludovic Charette. Ludovic starts in the 9th position here today. Nathan Stapleton starts 10th. He's 11 points behind, 2nd in points. Joe Rutkowski, 35 points behind, starts 3rd here behind Sebastian Kukulon. And then you got Thomas Troxel there in the 93. He's 37 points behind. And then Andrew Williams, also starting top 10, starting in 6th, is 57 points behind. Still a good chance for Andrew Williams if he can get a good amount of runs in these next few races. We're in the halfway point of the season. We got Watkins Glen, Pocono, Dover, then Iowa, Chicagoland, Martinsville, Las Vegas, Talladega, and then the finale at the Homestead Miami Speedway. So going to be interesting to see how these last few races shake out here, as we only got 9 races left to go until we crown a champion. We'll go ahead and get these guys to roll off here from Watkins Glen. Like I mentioned, Sebastian Kukulon starting on the pole position here today. Last year's champion. It's not been as good of a season for him this year as he sits 19th in the championship standing. Same can be said for the driver who's starting alongside him, Zachary Fitzwater, 17th in the point standings, but still a much better season than his Cup Series run was back over the summer. Bruno Diacomo starts 4th to the outside of Joe Rutkowski there in the 36 machine. Nathan Orban and Ethan Lewis. I'm not seeing much of Ethan Lewis yet this season. He starts there in the 6th position. And then it's the Triad. Oh, we got a couple of Triad trucks at least in the top 10. Josh Williamson there starting in 4th alongside Andrew Williams. And then our points leader, Ludovic Charette. Not a good run in IRP for him, but managed to hold on to the points lead. He's alongside Nathan Stapleton there in row number 5. Stapleton, runner-up last week at IRP, has a lot of momentum there on that 61 machine. He's going to have a good opportunity here today. Well, Stewart and then Matt, what do you guys think is going to go to victory lane here today in the Lake Effect Ice Cream 175?
I'm going to go Zachary Fitzwater in the 54. I think he's built for these kind of road course racetracks. He's in a great position starting from 2nd. And actually, you get the outside run off of the final turn there on the start. I think he can jump the 27 and cruise to victory. You know, his first win in a truck, first win for the season.
I'm going to take the guy starting on behind the pole sitter, and I'm going to take that 5 guys machine of Joe Rutkowski, and I think he's going to slice and dice his way and get up here and score the victory today.
And it's interesting, our past 2 Truck Series champions, and a matter of fact, the only 2 past truck champions in the field, start 1st and 3rd here today. Rutkowski, though, has had the much better season, sitting 4th in the championship standings. It's going to be interesting. We got ourselves a 13-lap race here today, but about a 10 to 11-lap fuel run. Last year it was a little bit closer to midway. We want to avoid these guys coming down twice, and it's going to be a one-stop race. So there's going to be a lot of racing up to that point, and then it's a 2-lap dash essentially to the end. So it's going to be fascinating to see who gets it done with all that going on. Definitely want to have your pit crew rating set very well. Also, we're on the road course, so no cautions. It's 13 laps green flag action. And that green flag action starts right here. Green flag in the air in the Lake Effect Ice Cream 175. Already a great jump out of Fitzwater. That outside lane is where you want to be. We saw that when we came here back in August with all the series, and Sebastian Kukel on our pole sitter already back to 4th. Meanwhile, Ethan Lewis all over the back bumper of Bruno Diacomo, and Lewis to the inside for 2nd. They're on the 2-time winner already this season. Ethan Lewis, only 1 career win on the channel. That was the Indianapolis 250 over 2 years ago. He sits 31st in the championship standings, but a great opportunity for Ethan, but he's still side by side with the 82.
He's got a good opportunity to clear him here into this long right-hander. I think he should be able to clear him. The 82 just a little close on the left rear, but he does clear him up to 2nd. Great start. Good aggression there from Lewis to get past the 82, get straight down to business. And you mentioned it before, the outside lane off to a great start with Fitzwater, and Kukulon just got a really poor run through the S's there on that opening lap.
And Zachary Fitzwater, definitely a driver who wants to go to victory lane in a stock car, a stock truck this season. Didn't even finish top 10 all season in the Walla Walla Cup Series. I think with Andrews Racing, he's going to have much more success. Going to be overtaking Ludovic Charette over there in 2024, but much better ride for him here in the Truck Series, and it looks like he's going to lead lap number 1, of course, right here, turn 11. Always the trouble spot. These guys tend to overshoot occasionally. Andrew Williams a little wide, but it is Fitzwater leading lap number 1 here at Watkins Glen. Oh, and hard in the wall back in there.
Oh, that was a big hit.
Eric Monaco in the 28. Thankfully, they all keep it together.
Monaco.
It was pretty wide.
Bernie Diacomo here running now in 3rd. Kukulon still 4th. Andrew Williams now in the 5th position. You got Josh Williamson, who almost should have won IRP last week, arguably, after he took the lead away from Igor Barreto, came right down the pit lane, was the leader after the cycle, and then had to check up for a wrecked truck, and that ended up giving way to Igor Barreto going to victory lane for his first win of the season. Speaking of Barreto, the web car is not running near as well as they have the past few races, and especially that 13 machine is deep in the field there.
Yeah, Barreto, after that strong run at IRP, just not able to move through the field here today. They definitely had a good short track program for that team last week, but nothing doing this week. And now we see watch up front, Zachary Fitzwater. We know what he represents here on these road courses. Ethan Lewis, really a strong run here so far. early on in the going of this race. It has definitely been not a great season for him in that number 11 machine, but he's making the most of a decent qualifying effort today, and he's starting to hunt down Fitzy here. I think he's gonna get a shot here in the next couple of corners. I think to maybe think about making an overtake on Fitzy.
Let's see if that's the case. Kukulon might try here on Giacomo going into turn 11. Oh, Fitzwater's wide, and here we go. Ethan Lewis to the inside for the race lead. And you were right, Matt. Just a couple of corners, and boom, there you have it. Ethan Lewis out front. Here, Watkins Glen and Kukulon still side by side with Giacomo, but that 82 is going to have the run on the outside and hold on to the third position. Williamson overtaking Rutkowski. Actually, I think he overtook Williams, who lost a couple of positions. Nathan Orman there in the top 10 with Ludovic Charette, our points leader, trying to get around him right there. Some great racing here at Watkins Glen. As always, Ethan Lewis out front, though, in the 11 for Broke Boys Garage.
Just a little bit of a mistake from Fitzwater. We see that quite often off that final turn. Hitting the outside wall costs you a lot of time, and now it's got a bit of work to do. I'm sure what happened with Monaco earlier is something similar. Someone's hit the wall off of turn 11, and it's all caused a chain reaction as a result. But Fitzwater's still well and truly within striking distance. He's got a lot of time to get back around the 11, but yeah, it's been a great drive by Lewis so far.
Fitzwater going to do all he can to get around this 11 machine. Of course, I think that 54 is faster. Just, like I said, Stewart made the mistake there off the exit of the corner. They generally keep it single file throughout a majority of the run, but they'll have moments like that. And we got some double wide here between Logan Williams and Laura Chung. Laura Chung won here last year. Not near as good of a run for this year, this season as a whole there for Dracoan Racing Enterprises. Not been a good year for Laura Chung at all. She was a teammate to Zachary Fitzwater in the Cup Series, and you all know what happened with that team over the summer. And a lot of movement up front here. Giacomo will hold on to that position ahead of Sebastian Kukulon, but the 27 still right there, and Josh Williamson in the 72 behind these guys. Watch out for Giacomo to overshoot, and watch out for Ethan Lewis to overshoot. Once again, they're side by side for the race lead.
We saw Lewis is able to get by Fitzwater on a mistake by Fitzy, and now the tables are going to turn here, but that 11 truck strong on the outside of the racetrack. Ethan Lewis going to try and get the run headed up into the S's. He's going to hold off that 54 of Fitzwater, so that 11's very strong here on the outside of the racetrack. Fitzy's going to just tuck in now for the moment. He'll get a shot maybe in the boot if he wants to get aggressive. And we saw the 27 of Kukulon almost been in the wall as well.
He got the position there on Bruno Giacomo. Back up to third for our pole sitter. A great run for Kukulon here today. And now Williamson looking to the inside of Bruno Giacomo. So this 82 not showing the strength that we have seen from him, at least in some parts of the early parts of this season. But I'm wondering if the tables are starting to turn a little bit. Ludovic Charette moving up. He's around Nathan Orman in 8th, right behind Andrew Williams right there. Nathan Stapleton just inside the top 10. But the top 4 guys in points still all running top 10 here at Watkins Glen. And it could be a 4-horse race for this title if that continues on as the season goes along, because these 4 guys, Charette, Stapleton, Giacomo, and Rutkowski, have all been incredibly strong this season. 2 of them are going to be an owner next year in the Walla Cup Series. Giacomo is the only one that doesn't have anything solidified for next season. But if he wins the Truck Series Championship, he'll get a reserve for the Walla Cup Series and will not have to worry about signing up over there. And I'd love to see this guy full-time in the Cup Series, especially after what he's done this season. Fitzwater looking again here on Ethan Lewis. He's pressuring this 11 machine. Might have a run to the inside right here on lap 4.
Yeah, Lewis has got to be careful here. He doesn't want to get into the wall.
Oh no!
The wall.
He got into him!
Oh.
Both Fitzwater and Ethan Lewis into the inside wall. Lewis got the worst of that. He's going to lose momentum there, and Fitzwater takes the lead. But that was not a clean exchange at all, and Lewis is not going to be happy. It's going to bring Kukulon into the mix here in the 27 machine, and Josh Williamson in the 72 in the mix as well. These 2 guys, Fitzwater and Ethan Lewis, they've been on each other this entire race, and they've been putting on a show, but they almost took each other out right there. My goodness.
I think Fitzwater overdrove it a little bit as well, and he's ended up, as Lewis is trying to correct it and keep it out of the wall, I think maybe it's just an awkward moment between the 2 of them. Luckily for Lewis, he was able to keep it going straight without losing too much ground. But clearly, damage now on that right side will come into effect as Kukulon has closed in a big way, and definitely pounce on the 11 if the 11 can't cover him.
And here's the deal.
Slap that inside wall.
Like just like you said, Matt, that 11 hit the wall hard, and the thing is, when we get to the cycle of pit stops, they're going to have to go in and repair that. So that's going to massively hurt the 11 team, but there's also damage on the 54 as well. So they're going to also have to repair damage on the cycle. This could give Kukulon the race victory, possibly, if things cycle through, but watch out for Josh Williamson. Now, he's run up front in quite a few of these races, but has had so many issues has kept him from victory lane. Of course, he blew up at Charlotte, blew up at Rockingham, was leading an IRP, but at the checkup, still got a good run, but didn't even actually lead a lap. Igor Brito led every single lap at IRP, even though he was not the race leader 2 separate occasions. That's kind of hard to believe right there. Fitzwater wide again, and Lewis is going to close back in again, and here comes Rutkowski. These guys are all on each other now for the top position. And still, nobody's out of the race. However, Eric Monaco, I think he did come down the pit lane right there in the 28, but he should be good to go to make it to the end, as we had a 11-lap fuel run here today in this Lake Effect Ice Cream 175.
And these boys, just big boys slinging these big trucks around here, and it's getting absolutely intense in the middle stages of this race. And with that, this is where Kukulon, Josh Williamson, and Joe Rutkowski really have to start pouncing to get some track position here, because those top 2 trucks, especially the 11, but like you said, Zachary Fitzwater initially lost the lead to Ethan Lewis on a big old shot to the outside wall coming out of turn 11. So you could see on the screen there too, the back wing of the 54 truck looks a little damaged. So if you're those 3 guys, Kukulon, Josh Williamson, and Joe Rutkowski, I think you have to be all over these 2, pressuring them to make a mistake or take advantage of some damage to get some track position before the pit stop, because I think they're going to be able to also gain more when those 2 eventually cycle out. See, Nathan Orman and Ludovic Charette and Bruno Diacomo somehow always find each other near each other in these races. It's been quite remarkable this year.
And they're always up front, too, when they find each other. Of course, Ludovic Charette's still in position to retain the points lead going in the Pocono next week. I'm sure that is exactly what that team wants at Beacon Quantum Racing. You know, I keep on calling it Beacon Quantum Racing. It's Beacon Quantum Racing. My apologies there. Ethan Lewis trying to close in. Fitzwater with a good run, though, through that corner, through a turn at number 10, and in the turn 11. Kukulon may actually have a chance here on Lewis. That 11's going to go a little wide. They all retain their respective positions. But the thing is, this cycle of pit stops is going to shake things up, because Fitzwater and Lewis both have significant damage, as Ludovic Charette has a nose to the inside of Bruno Diacomo, but Diacomo has the upper hand in the turn 1 on the outside.
Yeah, Diacomo's struggling a little bit more than I guess I kind of expected. He qualified well, but has really dropped off. He's getting close to 4 seconds off the lead, and that's with Fitzwater hitting the wall and Lewis hitting the wall and all that kind of nonsense going on. So he's just struggling for speed at the moment. Nathan Orman looks racy in the 24 as well. Hasn't had a great year, but he has had. I think he did get a top 5 at one point during the year. So speed can be there when he could get it going, and he looks pretty racy around the 14 and the 82 as well. But I thought we saw as well in the background, I'm not sure if he'll come to shot, Thomas Truxell's not too far outside the top 10 as well. He comes in 5th in points, so and he's head of the 52, so that's big in terms of that battle. Those guys 6th in points.
Yeah, and you got to think Andrew Williams started a lot higher in this race than where it currently runs. That 52 has fallen off quite a bit, actually. Stapleton on Aaron Abel, that is for the 9th position. Meanwhile, back up front, Kukulon's all over the back bumper of Lewis as Fitzwater starts to pull away just a little bit here in the 54. But I have a feeling that either Kukulon, Williamson, or Rutkowski is going to get this race win because of the damage on Lewis and Fitzwater. We'll have to see. Still have a few laps before we come down the pit lane for the cycle. Kukulon going to try to roll the outside there on turn 10. And he's going to get it to work on Ethan Lewis. That was a power move out of the 27. And Fitzwater's in the outside wall, and Kukulon and Ethan Lewis touch, and here comes the 27. Looking to the inside for the race lead. Here comes Ethan Lewis as well. He's getting a draft. Will he push this 27 behind the 54? Doesn't look like it's going to quite happen. Fitzwater's a little wide, though. Here we go through the S's. The 27's going to try to hold the inside. He might have a shot. Doesn't look like he's going to quite get it. But I tell you, these guys have been on each other this entire race, and Very entertaining race here at Watkins Glen. Hey, it's the reason why this is the only road course race of the season and not another road course. This is the best road course we've got. And I tell you, we've got a great one going on here in the Lake Effect Ice Cream 175.
Yeah, we're about one mistimed slide job away from a repeat of what we saw in the Wawa Cup Series, the way these top five have been racing each other the past couple of laps. Kukulon's feeling really dangerous in that 27 truck. Keeps trying to sling it around the outside, and now Ethan Lewis is going to get to the inside, heading down into the toe. You got to give Ethan Lewis some credit because that was not a light hit to the inside pit wall that he hit there when Fitzy got into him to take the lead, but Kukulon is applying all of the pressure, trying to force Ethan Lewis to make a mistake. Him and Fitzy almost did make big mistakes there, but it didn't cost them. As we're closing up on that pit stop window, that 27 is all over the bed of the 11 truck here. See what Kukulon can make of this, and that's going to open the door for Josh Williams, who's had a great solid run here this race.
Absolutely. Don't count out the 72. They've been running very strong. They had a lot of bad luck, but we saw what happened with Webb Racing Enterprises. Look at them now, coming into this race with 2 straight wins. I don't think they're going to win the day. They're a little bit further back. Fitzwater's wide again. Lewis going to take the lead this time around, and Kukulon will follow for second. That 54, he's one of the few drivers who has been overshooting that corner here today. Williamson's going to try to make a move on Fitzwater here. Not going to happen. There is damage on Rutkowski as well. But how about Lewis back out front here at Watkins Glen? Just going to have to see who ends up with this race victory. The cycle will begin soon. Rogel Dorn off the pace. I'm wondering if he came down the pit lane. And you notice there that the 9 of Mike Knapp is out of the race. We did have an accident there just about a lap ago. And Mike Knapp unfortunately out here at Watkins Glen. But this race is far from over. Back in here, Aaron Abel, Nathan Orman, Nathan Stapleton. Abel with the nose to the inside of the 24. Solid run there for the 05 here at Watkins Glen.
And looks like Abel will get the job done, although Orman might try and fight it back. No, will not. Not yet anyways. Might try and get the nose back underneath. Don't think that's going to work out for Orman, but I think Fitzwater has his tires are really shot to bits, or that truck is just driving horribly at the moment, isn't it? He's just continually to make mistakes, and you see the damage is really might be affecting it in a really big way. Is now Williamson applying the blowtorch onto the rear of the 54. He might find a way around it. I don't know what happened to Rakowski, how he got the damage on his driver's side, but yeah, it's there. Might have to repair that as well. That's a big blow for the 36.
Good run here for Williamson, trying to get around Fitzwater. See, Ethan Lewis is going to come down now, and Kukulon's going to lead a lap, and Fitzwater's also going to come down. So they're coming down a little earlier, trying to get an advantage because they know they're going to have to repair this damage. Maybe they get the fresher tires and offset the time they're going to have to spend on the pit lane. Andrew Williams also down, back in there. Caleb Rose as well. Hey, shout out to Caleb Rose for running the Rowdy Energy Pro Series. Been doing an excellent job with those races. Hope you guys have enjoyed them. They've been a lot of fun, and they've been fun because I don't know who wins them. Kukulon's going to lead a lap, so that's our third different leader of the day. We've had a very competitive race here at Watkins Glen, that's for sure. And we're going to see how long these guys stay on the pit lane. Ethan Lewis, Zachary Fitzwater right here. Bruno Diacomo there, they're both on the jacks. Still, 82 of Diacomo's going to get ahead of him, and that's it for Lewis and Fitzwater, that's for sure. Trying to repair the damage that they encountered from that accident that almost occurred earlier on in the race, and neither of them are going to get a good run here today after that long extended pit stop. Andrew Williams on the pit lane for an extended period of time. He was a little bit deeper than those guys, but watch out for Diacomo to possibly supersede all these guys and maybe steal this race victory because going to have those fresh tires and a clean racetrack ahead of him. That is huge for the 82 machine, who may get his third win of the season.
And we've seen that 82 truck has been very, very quick on these short tracks, which we know are really crucial on the chassis development. And he's going to have a very clean racetrack. He'll have a lap to gain on the track at. I am sorry, my brain stuttered there. But he'll have a clean outlap. He's not going to have any trucks in front of him. and he can just push that truck as hard as he possibly can. And now we're going to see the pressure's going to fall on this 27 pit crew, the 72 pit crew, and the 35 of Joe Rutkowski. And Rutkowski has some damage, so he may be in a little bit of trouble here, but everybody else is going to come down pit road here. This is going to be the race for the win. What a shout out to Sebastian Kukulon, though. Just a surprise pole sitter who's had a fantastic show in here today. Really strong run for him, and it is now the money stop here on pit road. Everybody is down pit road.
And the good thing for Kukulon, he had a clean run before this cycle here at Watkins Glen. So we should expect him to be rather quick on the pit lane. Oh, 2 tires there for the 27 machine. Same with Williamson, you know. Not a bad decision. Williamson, though, getting a really good push there off the exit of the pit lane. And he's going to be right behind this 27. Williamson might have a shot here. That 72's got a lot of momentum here. Bruno Diacomo, in the meantime, is nowhere to be found. And I'm thinking that, oh, he might have gotten into it with his teammate. Oh, Airgill's not going to be happy about that one. I thought that E2 was going to gain a lot more. Well, now it's on. Williamson all over the back bumper of Sebastian Kukulon here at Watkins Glen for the race lead.
This might be the day for Josh Williamson. He has shown a lot of speed, as you mentioned earlier. Here he goes to the inside.
It's a pretty good place to make a move there, entering the carousel, because unlike off the exit of turn 11, we saw what happened with Fitzwater and Ethan Lewis. Less of a risk of a bounce back off the wall and you getting caught up in an accident. Williamson clears for the race lead here. Next time by, it's 2 laps to go. And don't look now. Here comes Thomas Troxel. What an excellent pit stop for this team. Evans Ross Racing. Now, they've had a lot of runs this season on the pit lane that have been very excellent. And you know what? Troxel is very much in the mix for this win. And Ludovic Charette, that is exactly the run Ludovic needed, especially considering what happened to Diacomo. Of course, Diacomo only lost a few positions there. But how about that for Josh Williamson, excuse me, taking the race lead. And now Troxel right in the mix here as well. This is going to be a good battle here to the finish in this Lake Effect Ice Cream 175.
Where did Troxel come from in the 93? I mean, he just kind of like popped out and I mean, he was up in the top 10. He's going to get around Kukulon here. Oh, he runs it a bit wide, but he should still get it done.
Whoa! He might get it on Williamson.
Big time, Paul.
A little tight right there. Kukulon going to cross back over. But Troxel up to second as they cross the line with 2 to go. And Troxel's going to have the advantage. Rogaldorn coming back down the pit lane. An issue for Caleb Rose in the 33. It's a tough break for him. Anything major that happened will show. Oh no, it's Stapleton this time.
Uh-oh.
Oh, and that's a bad place to blow an engine. But he's going to be out of the race because of that. So it's the other Triad car this time around. And if you're Josh Williamson, you're hearing your teammates blowing up. What's going through your mind right now? You know you've had this issue already this season multiple times.
This is a nervous moment now for that 72 truck and the pit crew. As the crew chief got sitting on the box here, I have no idea what goes on over at Evans Ross Racing, but somehow they always just, they'll run top 10 most of the race, and that final run of the race, they just suddenly, Thomas Troxel shows up and is in the top 3 and is ready to pounce for a victory here. But as he's under intense pressure from Sebastian Kukulon, this is allowing Josh Williamson. You can see that gap has really opened up now. And he just has 2 more trips out front to make the turn 11. And if he does that cleanly, I think he's going to have a very good shot to secure this victory here today. Which I believe you said is going to be his first victory on the channel. If not, it'll be his first in a very long time. And he's had this coming because, like you said, last week I felt like the last run of that race at IRP, he had the better truck and just couldn't get it done.
Absolutely, and of course what happened at IRP is he had to check up and avoid Andrew Miller, who was spun on the racetrack ahead of him, and it gave way to Igor Brito taking the race lead. Still had a good run out of it, but it wasn't the race victory that he was hoping for because he was faster than that 13. Here we go, white flag in the air, Watkins Glen. Williamson will avoid the wall, but so will Troxel. It's not over yet. It ain't over till it's over, especially here, but Josh Williamson trying to bring it home for Travis Crampton and Triad Racing. We'll have to see if he can do so in this 72 machine. Troxel there in second. Kukulon. Ludovic Charette is fourth. He'll retain the points lead. And Aaron Abel with a great run running in fifth in the Oswego State car. This is kind of a home race for this team. Good to see him get a top 5. Philip Torres is sixth. Nathan Ormond is seventh. Great run for Nathan. Diacomo is eighth. Brian Webb, Rockingham winner 2 weeks ago, was 9th, and then it's Blaine Keys rounding out the top 10. I know you like to see that one, Matt. Well, only unless Williamson makes a major mistake. This race is his to lose, and he's pulling away there from Thomas Troxel and Sebastian Kukulon.
Yeah, they're just battling behind. Troxel, I don't know what happened there on that penultimate lap, but he's lost so much ground. He looked really racy coming off the pit road, but then he's lost so much ground to the point where Kukulon's actually got around him for second place, so that's a problem.
And to your point, Matt, this would in fact be Josh Williamson's first career win as a driver. He's gotten a lot of wins as an owner before, but never as a driver. And Kukulon has gotten around Troxel. Troxel slipping back now. At 93, they may have played an interesting strategy and their tires might be falling off. But all Williamson's got to do is just keep it clean. And even if he hits that outside wall, he's far enough ahead of Kukulon be able to take this one. But hey, this is Watkins Glen. Anything can happen. Meanwhile, Charette looking for third on Troxel. We'll catch that in a second. Josh Williamson looking to get his first ever win as a driver. He's going to come out at turn 11 a little wide, but it doesn't matter. He's your race winner here in the Lake Effect Ice Cream 175. And Ladovic, is he going to get second? I think he got it. He did.
Oh, my goodness.
Kukulon was a little wide off the corner, and guess who gets the runner-up position? It's Ladovic Charette, your points leader, who's going to extend the points lead going into Pocono next week. How about this team? How about it?
This is why we signed him for next year. Yeah, he's an extremely talented driver. Hey, I'm excited. It's going to be good going forward next year. It's about the best possible day he could have had. Obviously, didn't get the win, but Stapleton with the engine failure, I suppose, whatever happened there, and he's finished ahead of everybody else that was in championship contention. So that's about as good a day as you can get for Ladovic without winning the race.
Too bad that wasn't for the win. That would have been good if that was for the win. Williamson won it by over 4 seconds. That was the largest gap anyone had this entire race. I tell you, that was a brilliant race. That was fun from start to finish, and we had 4 different race leaders here today. The 2 guys who were dominant earlier on, Fitzwater finished 20th, but Ethan Lewis on the pit lane for an extended time, finishing 29th, and keeping the truck clean, keeping the car clean is always such a big factor here at Watkins Glen. We obviously saw that come into effect. Piston issues on both Nathan Stapleton and Caleb Rose, and we saw the accident with Micah Knapp. It's not been a good season for Micah at all in that 9 machine, but final thoughts on this one, guys. Josh Williamson finally pulls it off, and Travis Crampton gets a win as an owner here in the Turkey Hill Truck Series.
It was a big result for Josh and Triad. I know Triad obviously will be disappointed with Stapleton and what happened to him, but they've been competitive all year, and so it's a really bad day for Stapleton in the points. He's going to drop a lot of ground in that regard, but good to get on the winners list, I suppose, with the 72. That's going to bounce the 72 up in points. He will be pretty close to the top 10, if not jumping into the top 10 with that result. And he looked like he had the fastest truck, to be honest with you. He kept it clean the whole race. He didn't hit the wall, kept it, was always on the line, didn't get into the marbles, didn't lose too much grip, kept it going straight, and it's a thoroughly deserving win for Josh, and big congratulations to him and to Travis as well on the great result.
And the other guy, too, really just continues to impress is Ladovic Charette. Not in no way, shape, or form tooting the horn and for the boss man here, but, we saw him in the Cup Series take a pretty solid car. Not a bad car, not a good car, just a solid car, and do really good things with it. Get himself into the chase, have a shot there. Almost had a shot to go down to Darlington and win the championship, and now we're seeing him again in the Turkey Hill Truck Series, and he's just consistency. Beacon Quantum Racing has had a great year, but he's been absolutely fantastic for this organization. And so is Josh Williamson, too, by the way, for Triad Racing. Shout out to him here, but Ladovic Charette, I think, is also just starting to separate himself from this field here as we are a bit over midway through the season.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt that Nathan Stapleton had his issue, and Joe Rutkowski fell back quite a bit as well. Actually, Rutkowski finished 23rd. Because he was another driver who I think was on the pit lane for an extended period of time as well, which also affected his outcome. And, that's the nature of this racetrack. We're not really going to see that anywhere else. This is the only road course of the season, of course, and Josh Williamson gets it done on said road course here at Watkins Glen. One more time, the bottom of the standings right there. Next week we head to Pocono. It's November next week already. I know the time we were recording this, we still got a couple weeks ourselves, but hey, it's just around the corner, November. And you know what else is just around the corner? The Thanksgiving 500. I've been looking forward to this race for a long time because, hey, we got so many great guys come through in the Cup Series this year. Guys like Ludovic Charette, Drew Webb, who have never been in that race before. It's going to be a lot of fun to see those guys running it, assuming that they're going to sign up, and you guys better sign up for it. You both better sign up for it. Everybody better sign up for it. The sign-ups are going to be this Friday. Not this Friday. I think it's next Friday. What was I telling Caleb on this one? I want to make sure that I get this right. I do believe it's actually Friday, November 10th. Yeah, Friday, November 10th when I'm doing the sign-ups. It's going to be either me or Caleb that posts them. They're going to start in the Discord. We're going to go however long we need to go. And then if there are any remaining rides, we're going to post them on YouTube for you guys. But if you want to be in the Thanksgiving 500, you have to join the Discord. I do this as a thank you to everyone who's in the Discord who really does put a lot of effort into putting in the ratings and whatnot. So that's where it's going to start. And if there are any remaining rides, they'll be out here on YouTube in a sign-up video a little bit later on if we get to that point. I'll make an official announcement about this in the future. But hey, look out for that one. My favorite race to do all year. It truly is. The Indianapolis 250 is a close second. That is an excellent race, but the Thanksgiving 500 is special. It is the most traditional race that we do. We don't even do customs for it. We keep it that way. 50 laps at Coca-Cola. We're not changing a thing, and we run it Thanksgiving morning, 10 a.m. I love it. Absolutely love it. And I love to see all you guys in it as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. Congratulations to Josh Williamson for getting it done here at Watkins Glen in the Lake Effect Ice Cream 175. And here are the point standings for the Turkey Hill Truck Series after 10 races. On behalf of Matt Tuck and Stuart Gratton, I will see you guys later.